Hello, Grand Island Public Schools families. I wanted to take the opportunity just to check in with you, just to address some of the questions that we have been receiving as it relates to visitors attending our events. We have had to make a very tough decision to not allow visitors at this time. As we were working through all of the challenges that related to us opening schools, at one point we didn't even know if we were going to have sports at all. Let me just say that we were so fortunate that we were able to start with weights and conditioning, and then even think about the possibility of our students being able to compete. And right before we started school, we had quite a few scares. At one point we had to quarantine our volleyball team. We also had to quarantine our football team. And when we had to quarantine our football team, not only did we have our players who missed the first days of school, but also their teachers, the coaches. We know them as their coaches, but they're also their teachers, their English teachers, their algebra teachers. They were also taken out of the classroom. And as we continue a number of different conversations, we had conversations with the HAC organization. We were able to explain our positioning within Grand Island. We know what it means to be a hot spot in Grand Island. Back in the spring, when other parts of the state had the opportunity to open up, we were weeks behind. And I keep going back to thinking about, we didn't even know if we would be able to open our schools. Our main priority now that we have opened our schools is to keep our kids safe and to keep our schools open. As we thinking about how we keep our schools open, we learned a lot back in the spring. We were spotlighted as one of the districts for being able to provide meals for our students throughout that whole time that we were just beginning to learn about COVID-19. And the reason why we were able to do that, working with our child nutrition department, we were able to figure out that our workforce was the key, and we were able to make sure that we had efficient workforce to be able to keep moving forward. And so as we have now been in school, we have also had teachers, in some cases 9 at a time in one building, that we've had to quarantine. We can't imagine what it would be like if we continue to have groups of teachers that we have to quarantine. So we have to protect our workforce. When we are hosting events, those are the same people that are managing the events for us, be it our custodial staff, our buildings and grounds, our cafeteria people, our teachers, our coaches. These are the same people that we are expected to be responsible for our events and activities. And our main priority is to make sure that they can make it back to the classroom the next day or the Monday after, a football game. And so having our workforce is key. As we continue to look at all the surrounding factors that go into that, we had to think about our community. When we surveyed our parents, 75% of our parents, they indicated that they wanted to have their students in school on site. We also had 38%, almost 40% of our parents who said, if you have to close school, it impacts our ability to stay employed. So when we think about that, we understand how crucial it is for our students to be in school. And therefore, we have decided that we are going to try to make sure that they're in school, but we're very fortunate that we did reach a point where they can compete and where we can also have their families in attendance. Whenever we put out safety protocols, I realize that since everything is opening up right now, and people have different viewpoints, and we can do a lot of different things, that no one is necessarily mandated that you can do this or you can't do that, but we have to take on the responsibility of the levels of risk that we are imposing for our school district. And right now we have our students in school every day, 5 days a week. We're still running the same schedule, we're still running the same calendar, and that is our number one priority. And so I just wanted to make sure that you are able to understand that as a community. Right now, the protocols that we have put in place, we feel like that we can manage the safety protocols. Whenever we put out safety protocols, we want to make sure that we can monitor them, that we have enough resources, we have enough personnel, in order to manage it, to ensure that it rolls the way that we have outlined in our plan. There are a number of people who feel differently about the level of risk. Some people have very high risk tolerance, other people not so much. And so whenever we tell our community about our safety protocols, we know that you are trusting us to ensure that the plans that we put in place, that we're able to carry them out. And that is part of how we manage the protocols, the safety protocols that we have put in place. When we went to school on the first day, I had so many teachers that were coming to me saying, thank you so much for deciding to allow us to come to school. And that nearly put us in tears. Each day I'm hearing from administrators that they have kids that are coming up to them that are saying, no matter what, I am just so grateful that we are able to be in school. This week I met with our parent advisory council. I asked them the things that they felt good about and things that they had questions about. But the thing that they felt good about overwhelmingly is that we're able to have our kids back in school. That is our number one priority. Our students, they are the ones now that are having to play and perform in the middle of a pandemic. So I am calling on us as a community, as a school district, to put our energy towards supporting our students. They need us to be unified and to put our focus on the kids. And so I encourage you to, if we're going to get on social media, let's use it in order to lift up our kids and to show them how much we support them. And families, I want to let you know that every day we have to meet as a team to go over the pandemic conditions inside our school, inside our district, as well as what we're seeing in our community. Every day we have to make a decision if we're going to stay open one more day. Every day we have to decide, are we going to be able to continue activities, or are we going to have to shut it all down? These are very difficult conversations, and we are working very hard to ensure that we can keep Grand Island Public Schools going forward. I realize that people are saying different things about us right now, but one of the main things I hope that you are able to say is that Grand Island Public Schools is doing everything that it can in order to keep our students safe and to keep them in school.